Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So. Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Let's go with it.
Yeah.
I just thinking of things. We started.
Well, yeah.
Okay, welcome back. The focus of today's episode is all about value, and it's so important to shine the microscope on this area because it's really important. Like, well, what are you investing in, and why is that important? So, from you, when you hear this conversation that me and Craig are going to have about value, let us know what you think the value is, or what you're experiencing if you've got that great current experience with intranets, or you see you leveling up your game in intranets and internal comms. What value would that bring? So we'd love to hear that in the comments below. But Craig, over to let's chat about it. Value. It's such a big thing, but how do we look at tangible things?
So I have this saying. I'm on every episode. I'm probably gonna have a saying. So businesses don't buy things; they buy the outputs the things create. So when you're looking at intranets and you've got great homepages, you've got great subsites, and you've got all this great functionality going on, the people who hold the budgets, arguably that they don't care about all that stuff at all. They're like, great, we're enabling people to go, what they care about is how is it helping the business on more of a financial level, really. What's the value underneath this stuff? And I like to focus in on 4 areas of value with intranets. So one being productivity gains, another being retention, another being efficiency, and another being an increase in engagement. And if you're trying to put a percentage on them, I would say, you're looking to increase all of those by 10% with induction of an intranet.
I love the fact that when we're embracing and leveling up our tech within companies, some of the conversations we have where people are not used to having those measurable and monitorable factors, and I call bean counters. I think that's an old-fashioned term, isn't it?
Yeah.
But we've got to put value on these things for people to think, people talk about ROI all the time, return on investment. Like, what is it? What are we actually getting from it?
Yeah, so it goes unnoticed a lot of the time. I mean, people, I think, struggle to put business cases together. That is probably a template we'll throw up on our website, actually, a good intranet business case template. But it does go unnoticed. I don't think people realise the huge financial opportunity with intranet benefits. So I'll fire up my screen and I'll just show you a slider bar that we have on our website, and I'll talk through some of the numbers on this. Okay, so if you come to tdlfuture.com, you'll see what we've got on our homepage. Right near the top is we've got this intranet benefits calculator. It's these 2 slider bars, and you've got your average salary and you've got your number of employees. So the reason we put this on here is when you look at like productivity and efficiency, if you imagine you've got people on an average salary of around £40,000, and let's say you've got 1,000 people in your organisation. If you increase somebody's productivity by 10%, that's an increase of £4,000 out of that employee per year. So if you times that by 1,000, that's 4 million per year. And I think it's something that goes unnoticed. I think people in businesses focus so much on the sexy side of things, as in how do we enable the sales team, enable the marketing team, how do we create more revenue?
Yeah.
And I don't believe they focus enough on how do we enable all the people running around to make all of that happen. Yeah. So this is where intranets come in, and 10% increase in productivity, efficiency, engagement, retention. These aren't like huge targets. These are easily achievable. So we've got this slider bar on the website here, and you can just slide this to whatever your average salary might be, how many employees you have, and you can get an idea for the amount of gains that you.
Okay, great. I love, at this point, I love my swan analogy. Okay, so people might have heard this before. So a swan is obviously your business at the top end, projecting to the market that everything's great. I'm not saying things aren't great, but under the water, where we're talking to people is all the moving parts, all the busy people, and how do we actually then add value to knitting them together? And what we find is now that we can measure and monitor and show the value in creating the intranet, the feedback loops, and adding that, because a lot of people we speak to, they're going, oh, this would be great, but how do we then get buy-in from others, because they're not the single decision maker in a process? Does that make sense?
Yeah. So if you take productivity and efficiency as one thing, and you look at the use cases underneath that, which I think go completely unnoticed, because I think businesses focus so much on the sexy side of business, which is enable marketing, enable sales, bring more money to the door, increase revenue, and all of the internal benefits of those 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people running around to make all that happen go unnoticed. And they're all running around doing amazing jobs, but perhaps inefficiently, perhaps with a lot of burden, a lot of challenges to get through. So if you look at things like productivity, and you have your intranets in place, and if you can create an intranet which helps people find knowledge and information much quicker than they used to by having good knowledge bases, good document management, good intranets with various subsites to get to what they need. Say you're in a manufacturing company, and your business is about innovating, creating new product, and getting that to market as fast as possible. If you've got your R&D teams and various people making that happen, finding information much quicker, that they're going to become more productive, more efficient, and it's going to get their product to market quicker to make all that sexy stuff happen. And I see this all the time. I see businesses focusing so much on that, external end, and not enough on the internal end, where for me, arguably, the biggest gains are to be had.
Yeah, and I talk about simplicity all the time. Those humans, the psychology between, if you have a complex process of lots of clicks and lots of moving parts, you're going to not get that engagement and that productivity. So for us, if you've seen our episode on what a good intranet homepage looks like, you'll see from that simplicity of use and ease of access. You can't help but get involved with that, and it links, you say, about retention. It just keeps it
if you think
in the right place.
If you think about the burden of retention, the cost to business that it creates for people, I think the stats are, if you've got an average salary of £40,000 and you've got 1,000 people in your organisation, the replacement costs of staff are in excess of £500,000 a year. So if you've got good intranets providing those really good digital experiences for people, people feel connected to the business, they feel communications are relevant to them, they feel that they've got all the functionality and tools that they need to do their job, they're going to be happier employees. They're going to be employees that are more likely to stay than to leave and take a lot of knowledge out the door. So, retention is a big opportunity to really get some gains from, with having really good intranets in place.
Yeah, I think you just made me think about the added value of having a movable ecosystem of the intranet that we provide as well, because that static intranet that's probably previously been known, that we talked about in previous episodes, that a done to you process, actually to get that retention, engagement, like all in this together, you can see it evolve. And we talk to people about partnering with them, that we evolve and scale alongside them. Because they can currently have 50 employees, but a lot of people have been really impressed by their growth aspirations, because they're at least doubling their people in the next 5 years from some of the conversations I've had recently. So
Yeah, I know when we go through our discovery processes of putting intranets together, and an intranet, is made up of your homepage, your functions, your brands, and all these various subpages. We listen to the employees. We actually do a bit of problem finding. So we understand where I was saying those use cases of people struggling, doing a lot of manual things. What are they? And we get it from the horse's mouth. We understand what people's challenges and problem statements are. And those productivity and efficiency gains, that's where they start to come from. So for example, if you've got people there's a lot of manual process going on. People have got to go and email X to get a document, and then do this, do that, and send it on. You can probably automate the whole of that process using the Microsoft technology and give people that time back. Or maybe that time, another way to look at it in a value perspective is, if I can get twice as much out of 2 people, that's 1 full-time employee that we now don't need to hire, because I've got 2 people getting 50% more out of each one.
Yeah.
So it's that value, looking at the why underneath everything. You've got these very pretty, very good functional intranets. At the end of the day, the C-suite of companies, it will give you money back.
Yeah. I think the last thing that we'll finish this on is something that I still look at through a people lens, is that since we started, I've been really impressed about how the workforce and the workplace is moving forwards, and how what we're doing can add value to the leadership, to the culture of an organization.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I joke about and we talk about all the time is we're not meeting around the water cooler anymore.
Yeah.
The evolution of the workforce is moving on.
Yeah, I'm going to write that down. New episode coming. How intranets drive your culture. But yeah, no, you're totally
it's
right.
So important.
We're in a world now, especially since COVID hit, that people are behind their laptops now and on their phones. The old way of working is it's just changed. There's remote working, hybrid working, and how do you recreate that in a digital world? Yeah. How do you lead in that environment? That'll be an episode for the future. And how do you drive cultures? And if you do have really good intranets and you understand the value that you're trying to create underneath these with productivity, efficiency, increases of engagement, if you've got really good communications on your intranet and the articles are really high quality and people can engage with them, they can comment on them, like them, share them. This type of thing really drives culture as well in an organisation.
Fab, excellent. So, nice quick episode around the value of intranets. If you enjoyed that, make sure you hit like and subscribe below here. And also let us know, what value do you see, whether it's currently or in the future, with an internal intranet with your organisation.